Y'all, I am so tired of you guys being lied to. You need to stop spending the money at the craft store and you need to start saving it because you could be making your own stencils at home with ease. Someone recently asked me, Tanner, can you teach me exactly how to make a DIY stencil? And I'm like, y'all, it's not just a DIY stencil. This is a stencil that competes with the same quality you would find at a craft store for a fraction of a dollar. It's going to be incredible, and I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it. And then if you stick with me, I'm going to pair it with an amazing DIY project that you are going to be blown away by, and I can't wait to get crafty with you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Here's the secret about this material that you will not even believe. There's already a setting on your die cutting machine to cut this material. So when I tell you what it is, you are going to be so blown away. Look at this right here. This is the material that people are using to sell stencils for like $7 to $10. But guess how much this one sheet cost? Y'all, this one sheet cost 40 cents. And the best part is, the type of stencil we're making today, you can get 4 stencils out of a sheet. So it is well under 10 cents for you to make 4 amazing stencils. It is gonna be incredible, and I think the results are gonna surprise you because we're gonna use our die cutting machine to make all of this happen. Are you ready to hear about this special material? Dun, 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 dun. It is called Mylar. Y'all, if you have not used Mylar before, it is an incredible, incredible material that is gonna allow you to cut all of your stencils, and I'm gonna teach you all of my tips and tricks to have flawless results. And then the best part is, you will have a reusable stencil that will last a lifetime because Mylar is just like the stencil material that you are used to buying at the craft store and so much more. So let's go ahead and go over the supplies needed to make this amazing birthday card. It's gonna be epic and you're gonna love it. All right, my friends, to be able to make these amazing stencils, you're only going to need a couple of supplies. Now, if you just wanna make reusable stencils, you will just need the Mylar set. But in today's video, what I thought would be fun is to kind of pull together a really fun card. I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to not only create your own stencil, but we're going to do some ink blending. Because here on our channel, we have a mix of DIY crafters all across the board. Some are familiar with paper crafting and some are brand new. And here's the thing, when it comes to paper crafting, I believe having reusable stencils like this right here is incredible, but there are so many things you can do with reusable stencils. So do not let this limit you. Let it start widening your array of potential that you can do with this material from Mylar. We're going to use a Cricut machine today, but you'll be able to use whichever die cutting machine you prefer to use for this process. The tips that I'm going to give you in today's video will be relevant across the board. We've linked you the actual Mylar pack that we purchased where you can get the 40 sheets for a really great price. You're going to need a die cutting mat, some painter's tape. You will need some blending pads and ink pads. We're going to need a sheet of cardstock to make our card base. You may need baby wipes if you want to be able to clean your stencil and keep it for multi-use. And I have a paper cutter just for good measure for our project. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and head over to Design Space and get our stencils set up. All right, my friends, inside of Design Space, what you're going to need to do first off is to create your card base. Or you can take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, fold it in half, and then you'll have 2 A2 size card bases. But what we'll do in Design Space is we'll go ahead and get a rectangle. We're just going to come over here to our rectangle in our basic shapes, and we are going to now go ahead and bring it down below the one I've already built, just like so. We're going to unlock it, and we're going to type in the width. We're going to type in 8.5, and then the height will be 5.5. And then this right here is now our card base. I'm going to change the color over to white. And now what we'll need to do is we need to add in a really awesome score line. So let's go over to shapes and let's grab this free line right here. Once we have our free line, I'm going to bring it down to our new card base that I'm building. And what we'll do is we'll expand it out. I like to have my score line be a little bit longer than my actual card, just so I can keep in line of where it is. Once I have it there, I don't like to worry about where it is. So I'll go ahead and select both layers and I will click Align Center. This will allow me to center everything up and not worry about it. Now, once you've done so, all I need you to do is come down to the bottom right-hand corner of the Layers panel, and I want you to click Attach. Once you've attached that, you now have your awesome, awesome card base. What I want you to do next is download the file that I've linked down below if you're an active Makers Gonna Learn member. If you're not one, you can get started today for $7 and get an all-access free trial of our membership and all of our programs for only $7, and that'll get you access to this file. If you're included in the Makers Gonna Learn community and you're like, oh my gosh, I want more stencil files, leave me a comment down right now and let me know what type of stencils you would like to see, because this is one of our brand new stencil files. So go ahead and upload it to Cricut Design Space. And then what I want you to do is you can size it. That's the beauty of this right here. So let's click Bring to Front, and you can see exactly how this stencil will work on your card base. The beauty of making your own stencil is that you can size it to whatever size you need. Remember, you have the ability of creating a stencil up to 12 by 12. And y'all, if you were to buy a 12 by 12 stencil, that would be almost $20. Now remember, you can cut your own for 40 cents. So it's very, very cost effective to be able to do your own wall stencils and so much more with your Cricut machine. Once you have your awesome stencil sized, that is going to be the color of your Mylar once we cut it. So far we have our card base, we have our score line, we have our stencil, and last but not least, I want you to go ahead and grab your favorite Makers Gonna Learn font, and I want you to go ahead and type out whatever type of occasion you are going to have. We picked a typewriter-ish font from Makers Gonna Learn. I'll link the exact one right down below. And we just simply typed out Happy Birthday. I love how simple and easy this is, and we will size it to the card. So let's drag it down right here, and we can bring our stencil onto the card. And then look, Happy Birthday can be brought to the front, and you'll see the exact setup of the card. Super awesome, super simple, and I love how this looks. Once we do our inking, it's gonna be really unique and a really easy way to create awesome birthday cards that are simple, low cost, and we're not spending $12 to $20 on a card from Hallmark. Am I right? So now what we'll do is we'll cut the Happy Birthday from heat transfer vinyl. If you've never seen someone use heat transfer vinyl on cardstock, you're gonna be blown away, all right? So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get this ready to make. We have 3 different mats and we're going to cut this out. So let's press Make It. And the first mat, we will go ahead and cut our card base. Then we'll have our HTV, and then we get to make our amazing stencil. Are you guys ready? Let's cut it out. First things first, we are cutting our regular cardstock. So this is going to be on a medium cardstock setting. I already have my scoring stylus installed into my flagship Cricut Maker. This is the original Cricut Maker. I wanna let all of you guys know, I always get comments if I'm not using your machine. You can cut Mylar in all of the machines, from a Cricut Joy to a Cricut Explorer to a Cricut Maker, because we are using the fine point blade. So just because I'm using a Maker today doesn't mean you have to use one, all right? So it's already set to medium cardstock. I'm going to edit the tool and I'm going to choose Scoring Stylus. Once we click Apply, now it'll be ready to go. Here is what I want you to do. I am using a light grip mat today, so I just want you to take your sheet of cardstock and I want you to apply it to your light grip mat. All right, so we're just gonna load our cardstock on the light grip mat. You can use any other mat as well, especially for the Mylar, but I just love a light grip mat. You'll notice other Cricut YouTubers and different people do have preferences on their mat. I am just a huge proponent of a light grip mat. I think they hold up the best, I think they work really well, and I just love this mat. So that's my personal preference. You can see the Cricut is actually scoring first, and then what it will do is then go through and cut. All right, that has cut out our card, and you can see, just like so, boom. We have our score line, we have our card base. This is awesome. We love that. And now we're going to get to go ahead and cut out our HTV. If you've never cut out HTV, you would just put it shiny side down and then cut it with the mirror setting on. I have mine pre-cut so that we can go ahead and cut out our amazing Mylar. Are you guys ready? So let's go ahead and jump to mat 3. And what we'll do is we will click on mat 3 and we need to change the material. So I'm going to change this material, and here's the best part about cutting this material that I think people do not realize. You can click Browse All Material, and you can type in Mylar, and there is a Mylar setting. So this makes it super easy. We will select it, we will press Done, and then what we'll do is we're going to do more pressure, all right? Now let me share with you exactly how to set this up on your mat. All right, my friends, the moment of truth. Here's our Mylar. It is a thin, but also like sturdy material. I can't really think of anything that it compares to, honestly, because it is thin, but it also has, you know, it's pretty sturdy. So I'm just gonna make sure this is down onto the mat. Here's what I recommend. I believe no matter what mat you're using, I would go ahead and get some painter's tape or masking tape. I'm just gonna take some, and I always rip mine in half. I don't know if you guys do this. I just always like to save it. And I just wanna make sure you have some all across it, all right? So if you do the corners, I just try to make sure it's never in the path of the actual rollers. So you can see I just have it secured here. I can rip this and have some more. I can secure it down up here. One thing to note is that the fine point blade can cut through the masking tape and things. So I usually don't worry about that too much, but you also can position, you know, on your mat, you can move stencils down if you're worried about that. So once you've just applied some painter's tape or masking tape, what we'll do is we'll load it into the machine. Now, feel free to use the purple mat, which is the thick material mat, but again, it's not anything that I would be too worried about. I've had really good results doing all of our test cuts. And yeah, so we'll just press that flashing Cricut button, and now it will check the blade, and then we get to watch it cut. It actually will cut the material twice, which is pretty nice. And once it does, you can really see that it is like free flowing. So like already one piece like kind of popped out, which is a good sign that we probably didn't even need to use more pressure. It looks so good. Oh my gosh, y'all, the moment of truth. Okay, here's what I wanna let you guys know about. So it is common, like we had a few specks like pop out. So I wouldn't be too worried if that does happen. It didn't affect any of the cuts, thankfully. So let's unload the mat. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let's come over here. Let's take a look. I don't know how well y'all will be able to see it. It pops out pretty well. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, let me get these little specks out. I probably should be doing this over a trash can, but okay. There's a few that are like still like in, but as soon as you poke it out, they come right out. Are you guys seeing that? Let me move this. Okay, do you see this? So you can see there's two here that are still kind of like in there that we're like, we just need to pop out, and then look. So it's not that they're not cut, it's just for some reason, like some were like overly easy and like popped out before we even took it off the mat, and then there's like this one little speck from my stencil. Oh my gosh, it is not, okay, here we go. It wasn't wanting to go. But look, the cut, like that's what's crazy to me. The cut quality of this is just insanity. So we'll definitely have to get it zoomed in close up. I mean, check this out, like such a good quality. I'm trying to see what other, like you guys can see all of these colors and things. So awesome. And now we'll be able to stencil like a pro over and over. And this is the reusable. So now let's go ahead and make our card and let the magic happen with this project. All right, my friends, the first thing we need to do is we need to take our card and a bone folder, and we just need to go over here and we need to just fold it in half and use our bone folder to crease the card. One of my favorite tips is after you've used a bone folder, this is now the back of the card and this is the front of the card. So now that we've been able to do that, this is now our card base that we'll be able to stencil and apply our heat transfer vinyl. I am using HTV today, so I'm going to preheat my mini easy press to level 2, and we'll set that to the side to warm up. All right, so now that we have our card base, all we're going to do is I'm actually going to secure down the stencil to the table and along with the cardstock. So that's why I like to use painter's tape, masking tape, things like that, because once we have it secured down our stencil right here, I'm just going to tape it down in 2 corners so that it will lie flat. And the reason why is because we're gonna do a little bit of inking, and I want you to really be able to position down the cardstock, it not move, or your ink as we use some of these ink blenders and the different colors of ink. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna walk you through that process. All right, what we're going to do is we're gonna use our scrap of cardstock. You could use anything, you could use a mat or anything like that. I just wanna protect my surface. We have the card folded and we position the stencil just like right over top it. So we're just gonna lie the stencil down right here. And then what we're going to do is once we have it in position that we like, what we'll do is we'll grab some painter's tape and we are just going to secure this in place. All right, this is gonna allow us to kind of have fun inking and not worry about, you know, the stencil moving around, the card moving around, anything of the sorts. And this is gonna protect the entirety of our card for the best results. So once you're happy with it, we've got this down. I'll just go ahead and do this last corner as well. And once we've positioned this down here, we will now be able to come in with our amazing, amazing ink blenders. And we're just going to use some pigment ink. You can get some of these. I purposely chose some of these cheaper ones from Hobby Lobby, just so that you guys can see that the results, I mean, will end up still looking beautiful. I know card makers out there would, you know, probably scold me and say I need to get more nicer ones, things like that. No big deal. You don't have to. It's just always nice to have. So I like to kind of do a mix. So we're gonna do blue up here in the top, and then we're gonna kind of blend together some of the green and things. So super, super fun. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we will actually come in with the blue. I'm just gonna pick some of this up. You can see it comes on here really well, just like so. And then what we'll do is I'm gonna start probably at the bottom and do a little bit and then blend into the green. So look at this. Look at this, super easy. You can pat, you can blend. I love how well these look. And if you don't apply a ton of pressure, the color will be lighter. I will give you a secret. There's no way that you can mess this up. I promise it feels like there is, but there's absolutely no way whatsoever you can mess this up. Like I'm already getting some blue in areas I thought I would get green. No big deal. Look what I'm about to do. I'm gonna come in with another one. I'm gonna probably go for a smaller size, and I'm going to grab the green. And this is what's so fun about inking and blending, and card making in general is actually how I got started crafting. So it's pretty nostalgic to me. And then I'll add in some of this green, and look, just blend that right in. Boom, 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 boom. Have no fear, just have so much fun. I'm so grateful that I went ahead and taped this down so that I'm not worried about anything moving, anything at all. I'm just able to go through and ink. So awesome. If you want, you could add in some blue, you know, down at the bottom too, which I might do. And then kind of let it blend up as well. Oh my gosh, the green looks so good. I'm blending some of this green in, like so. And then I'm gonna pick up some blue and do just a little bit of blue down here. Blue is very rich.
with the color. And then I'm gonna get my green again and finish it off. So awesome. These blenders are definitely the secret if you're gonna blend any inks at all. And I would make sure before you, like, don't go too fast because it would be hard to line this up again. So I'm just gonna go through, make sure the edges are good. I like to go up and down for the best result, but also at times you'll need to blend it. So make sure your edges are crispy now, because you won't be able to go back in. That's my one tip, if you want crispy edges. All right, take a look at how this looks like. These are able to be cleaned and washed, so you can just come in and take a look at how well it looks. If you want, you could also bring in some blue over on the edges. It's pretty intense, so you just want to be mindful. And it can kind of blend in with some of the green, but it doesn't have to be. Just see if there's any more you want to add in. And once you're happy with it, you can close up your ink pads. You can clean these out, and then we're going to pull up our stencil. All right, here's the big reveal. Check out our card. Oh my gosh, I need to be careful. I'm gonna go smudge the ink. But this is how awesome the blending went. I absolutely adore it, and it's super awesome. So now let's go ahead and take a look. What do you guys think? I absolutely love being able to make these own stencils and then do some ink blending. This is not something that I do a ton of, but I think it's something that is super, super fun. And being able to blend the ink is really neat. And it really makes you feel more like an artist, I would say, than some of the typical crafts we usually do with our Cricut machine. So I highly recommend. But the last thing we need to do is add our happy birthday to our card, and we're using heat transfer vinyl on cardstock. So let's go ahead and place this onto our card. And then once you're happy with it right there, we'll go ahead and apply the heat. And you just want to be careful. As soon as you see bubbles, I would pull up the mini easy press, because when you have a mini easy press, it is very hot, way hotter than any other heating device, and we don't want to warp our cardstock. And then check it out. We have our happy birthday on here. We used blue heat transfer vinyl. You now can write your note on the inside, and it's an amazing handmade card that you're able to do. So here's my question, my friends. What did you guys think about seeing the Mylar in action? I absolutely adore this material, and now I have like 37 other sheets that I can use to make stencils. I've been able to do large wall decals. I've been able to do so many cards, so many things. You could test it with so many different materials. I've even seen this successfully done, like transferring on fabric and things, especially with spray. You could totally do that as well. So I think you need to add in this stencil technique to your arsenal of crafts. I use this almost as often as I would like freezer paper and other type of stencil materials. So I want you guys to leave me a comment right now and let me know, what did you think? Have you ever cut Mylar? It is such a breeze. I know if you haven't, you will be so in love with cutting it, and it's way easier than you might have thought it was. So leave me a comment, join Makers Gonna Learn for only $7 right down below. I cannot wait to welcome you inside the membership so you can get this file, and let me know what other type of stencil files you're looking for. Until the next video, I will see you back here real soon. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you back here real soon. Bye guys.